Hi there, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me today on this beautiful Sunday. Today I have a really fun card using actually a card in an envelope using some Maker Forte products. This is the Maker Forte Vintage Music Paper Pack. It's got a bunch of kind of cream colored or off-white vintage looking papers, really beautiful. And then I'm also going to be using the vintage holiday postage stamps. There are 2 sheets of lots of different colored stamps. And then I'm going to be using this beautiful stamp set. This one's called Holly Berries. This is a 6x8 stamp set, and you get lots of beautiful images as well as sentiments. I'm going to go ahead and pick the papers that I wanted to use. I'm actually going to be creating an envelope with these, and so these are the papers that I grabbed to do that. But first, I am doing a little bit of no-line watercoloring. And it's something I loved doing before, but I haven't watercolored too much this year, and definitely I don't think I've done any no-line watercoloring, so it's been a little while and I had to kind of relearn a little bit, but I am stamping these images up in the Distress Oxide Antique Linen. I don't need the image to be stamped perfectly because, again, this is a no-line watercolor and it's going to be covered, but I do want to be able to see the images so that I can color it as best as I can. So I'm going to speed this up a whole lot. I might add some music, but basically I put a little bit of clean water down first, and then I'm going in with some greens and just basically coloring up the images. This is something that I love to do, but I'm a little out of practice. So I'm just having fun with it, and that's all I can do. And so I really enjoyed kind of getting back into it and kind of relearning or refreshing myself with how to do this. And so I'm just basically taking my time and just having a little bit of fun. The paper I'm using for this is a piece of Strathmore watercolor paper, the 500 series, and the watercolors are the Machine Gold watercolors. And I believe I'm using, this is a size 3 I'm using right now as a smaller brush, and then I also use a round brush that is, I believe, a size 6. But I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this. I'm going to throw in a little bit of music. I don't show a lot of the coloring just because it did take a while, and I actually did this over 2 separate days. So I'll put on a little bit of music, and then I will see you back here once I'm done. And you'll see there I went ahead and I blended a little bit of the Antique Linen Distress Oxide into the background areas. And then I'm going to create a tiny little frame. Originally I was going to cut this off and not use it, and then I decided I liked the way it looked. If I was going to do it again, I would probably make a little bit bigger of a frame around the outside so I had more room to add that piece underneath. But basically I added a piece of cream paper under that, so you have that slight cream border separating the 2 pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and create an envelope. I did not take measurements. Basically what I did was I kind of winged it. I just took the paper and folded it in some different ways to go ahead and create the envelope around the card. So I went ahead and I made some diagonal lines at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those. And then I also made a straight line, and that is where I'm going to add the score line. So basically what I'm going to do is add the score lines, and then I'm going to fold those over, and the bottom is going to be folded up. And I actually did this upside down, so it doesn't matter, I don't think, when it's going through the mail, but the card will be upside down if it's opened the way I created it to be opened. But then I went ahead and I cut off those tabs for the angled cuts that I made, and then I was checking the size to make sure that that card fits in there. And then I'm adding some double-sided adhesive just to that bottom portion, and that's going to go ahead and fold up and adhere to the top. And I really wanted to use this paper to make an envelope, but it's not exactly the greatest size for that. And so that's why I kind of just kind of winged it and made my own envelope. And then I'll go ahead and score that at the top, and another piece of score tape will be added to the top as well. But I'm just going to cut off that little extra wing right there that is between the corners. And that'll give me a nice fold down. I also would I would probably reverse the top and the bottom flap so that that bigger flap is actually where the card is opened, where the opening is, and then the bottom right here, what I'm doing right now, would actually be the bottom of the card. But live and learn, right? It's something I kind of just put together, and I really like how it turned out, though. I love this paper for a envelope, and I think it just goes really nicely with the holly berry card. But to create the other piece, I just took another piece of that pattern paper and added more score lines and folded that over and adhered that with some double-sided adhesive. And I'm going to use these really cool postage stamps. I cut them out with a straight scissor first, and then I have the Fiskar, this is like a shear cut fancy scissors. I guess that's what these are called. I have a whole set of them. I don't know if you do or not. I think they're awesome. I don't think I'll ever get rid of them because they can be used for so many things that dies cannot, and especially for things like this where there's a bunch of different size postage stamps. I thought they worked beautifully for this, and so I'm going to go ahead and I cut those out, and I am adding several of those to the envelope. And then when I go ahead and mail this out, I'll add a label so that you can see the address really well. But that card just slips in and out of there, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas if I don't catch you back here. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video or found it informative, please go ahead and give a thumbs up. As always, I thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me, and I hope to see you next time.